Hello everybody, and welcome back to Occult Perspectives. I know I've done a couple of videos in the car like this before, but typically I don't. But I decided to go ahead and make good use of this time on the way back home and pick up on the topic that we had talked about yesterday, assuming that I will post this video tonight if I have time. But I just did a video yesterday about light and dark, and I'm going to go ahead and continue that conversation because I was thinking about a couple more things I could discuss when it comes to the aspects of the two polarities. It's important to remember that there are polarities or different aspects of creation, as we were talking about in the last video. So to me, some of the weaknesses of the dark side is that, there's a guy, I can't remember what his YouTube channel is. If you just look up like Sith philosophy, the dude has it's a picture that kind of looks like Darth Revan. The guy's holding like a red and a purple lightsaber. It's a video entitled like Sith philosophy, and it's about 20 minutes long. It's a great video. I highly recommend that video. I don't think the dude really means to get very esoteric or occult about anything that he's talking about, but he does in the process of kind of evaluating the left-hand path, the Sith code, and comparing it with the Jedi code and whatnot. So the dark side, it's hard to trust others on the dark path. There's usually only two Sith at a time. There's a master and an apprentice. I believe that's how it works. And then eventually the apprentice is going to overtake the master. So there's kind of a certain amount of strength that is not able to be built because that level of trust is not there. Trust gives you a huge foundation to work with. Our whole business enterprise that we have today, we know all the conspiracies and stuff like that it's not really so cut and dry, but the idea is that you can trust people, with food and other resources, and that basically people aren't going to turn your back on you and just kill you in your sleep or whatever. That's why we have rules and laws in place. You don't go out and hurt other people. But with that level of trust, you wouldn't have that if you were a part of the Sith. That's one of the weaknesses of the dark side as far as the Sith are concerned. And then also, I guess, left-hand path. For me, in the occult world, I would assume that left-hand path people would work well together because they're able to combine their energies and channel them into the things that they need to do. But at the same time, the left-hand path could possibly isolate you from others. Your search for power, there may be an instance where you would rather work alone rather than teaming up with somebody, which could potentially be good for you. You may not want to mix your energies with them, but at the same time, you may miss out on a golden opportunity for working with something good there. Another weakness of the dark side, before I start to talk a little bit more about the light. The dark side, it's so, especially the Sith code and all that, it's so hell-bent on succeeding. It's very objective-oriented. It's very left-brain-oriented. So you can very easily get stuck in the left-brain prism. I'm sorry, not prism. The left-brain prison, as Mark Passio, that's how he describes it. If you've ever watched his YouTube channel, he has really good stuff, but sometimes he's a little intense, but he's just really trying to get his message across. But yeah, Mark Passio has a lot of great information about a lot of esoteric subjects. But getting stuck in this left brain prison, as he terms it, it keeps us from seeing all the beauty and stuff, in life that we could potentially be able to see if we were not stuck in just that left brain cold calculated thinking, which is a very unique state of consciousness. It's very good for getting things done, tasks done. You're objective, you're linear, you're moving straight forward from point A to point B. You're not taking any deviations, no side roads. That's more right brain energy. It's more feminine energy. It's more spirally, more circular. Whereas the masculine left brain cold logic energy of a lot of the left-hand path stuff is very left brain stuff. And that's why I kind of resonate with it, because I'm more logical. I kind of started out younger in life as an atheist anyway. Well, I went to church when I was young, believed in God, and then I learned that it wasn't all that I thought it was. That's a whole other story, though. But I was very agnostic for a time. And that's kind of the nice part of the left-hand path, is it pulls more from the scientific and the more logical, linear left brain stuff. But at the same time, you get caught up in just that, I'm only focused on my goal. You're going to miss out on a lot of other stuff. A lot of the times you just need to relax. In your mind, this is something that a lot of people will never tell you. I think this is something that, a lot of people not talking about. I think in a lot of ways, people think they have to have these objectives. They think they have to do these things in life. But when it really comes down to it, if you can just work through your egoic mind to a point where you come to an ego death, to where you don't have to perform all those tasks. You think you're like, oh, I got to do this, I got to conquer, I got to win, I got to be on top. But then in the end, you just realize that that's not even really what you wanted. And that's why I think that, experiencing, through meditation or whatever means, alternate states of understanding, consciousness, and awareness, though that really helps you to come from a place of a larger macrocosmic understanding to where you're saying, look, I guess I didn't really need to do that. And I think that also happens a lot on the left-hand path. When I do something that's like negative, I regret it usually right away. I'm like, once I say it, or once I've, even if it was something that was like hurting my feelings or something like that, it was messing with me, even after I say it, it's still like kind of a stab wound sometimes. It's like, it wasn't really the nicest thing to say, but I had to say it. And then afterwards, I'll sometimes instantly regret it. And I think that's a tricky part of the left-hand path, is being bold in who you are, being sure of what you want, state what you want. Don't try to slip and slide your way through. Be very honest. But this can come across as very cold and harsh. It's a little more colder and calculating, but you have to be very on top, of things like that. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about left-hand path before I move on? Some more right-hand path material. I think that would pretty much cover it for now. I feel like there was one other thing that I wanted to say, but if it ends up coming across, it'll come across. If not. Some strengths of the right-hand path. It was kind of, we were just talking about in the left-hand path, this goes hand in hand. Owning your own darkness, not being ashamed. Whereas if you are a right-hand pather, like, you're already in the light. You're already, if you really are righteous, you've truly worked through your shadow, and like, you don't really seek dark things. You've really, truly, that's why I think a right-hand path adept was probably at some point in their life in a dark place, possibly, or they went through some left-hand path stuff to kind of balance out their energies before they moved forward in a more like right-hand path background or whatever. The only other alternative I could think of is older souls who already just know better when they incarnate into this realm, to do righteous things. So the strengths of the right-hand path are always being this fount of strength. If you practice temperance, you're truly, you're treating your body as a temple. You're going to gain a lot of strength from that. Those who are not ready to control the energy, though, they're going to not want to control it. But those who are right-hand path adepts, who truly know how to channel, righteous energies and all that stuff. And I guess white magic could be considered right-hand path. Stuff like the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, lesser banishing ritual of the hexagram, those sorts of things. You're not really like trying to change anybody or anything. You're not trying to gain any material gain. So that would be white magic. Yeah, that would be more what I would consider right-hand path. I consider healers, for the most part, right-hand pathers. All of these correspondences may not be correct, but sorry I'm so stuffy today as well. It's just been the past couple days. I think the fluctuations in temperature here in Ohio have just been getting to me. But yeah, a lot of strength in the right-hand path. Sorry if I'm not getting all my correspondences right. I'm just kind of giving a real brief, more viewpoints about how I feel about the light and the dark. The light's tricky because in this world, I'm so glad I thought of this. In our society, we have a lot of what I would call false light. It's that which appears to be righteous, and sure, it's like clean and it's pretty and it comes with a nice bow tie and a package, but it's not genuine. It's not the real deal, you know. And I see a lot of theater and just fake light. It's like a very, like, I think a lot of things have just been watered down so much to the point where they've lost their richness. They've lost the essence of what they really are. And I think this society casts a lot of false light. It wants to say, you know, these people are bad, but really when it comes down to it, I don't think there's a whole lot of really bad people. You know, we've got our bad apples, and there's things we have in, you know, place to take care of things like that. But overall, I think if people are taught how to follow their true will, you know, if they're taught a lot about darkness from the beginning, that way they're not stumped, and then they have to, like, you know, go through such a big trial when they could have been told in the first place that it wouldn't have been a big deal. But instead, they end up making the error. But sometimes making the error and going through it, and this is what I like about the left-hand path a lot of the times, is going through the darkness. You know, you are in the abyss. You must be the light in the darkness to make it work. Yep. Sometimes falling is the only way to rise. Sometimes you gotta experience the darkness. I think the only other thing I really wanted to say real quick about right-hand path before I go ahead and end this video, because I'm almost back home now, is getting stuck up. I think the right-hand path gets more stuck up on ideologies and stuff than the left-hand path. The left-hand path, you're a little more free to roam, but there's also the dogma or the stigma of, you know, you get so stuck in the left brain prison, as we were talking about before, cold, calculated. You're not able to pull in the good aspects from the light side. And the light side, a lot of the time, has a lot of doctrine. You know, there's a lot of things you're not supposed to do to keep your body pure and righteous, so that you can transcend and go into those higher realms of existence. But as I've always thought before, it's like a lot of people say, this is where it's at. The material plane, Mount Coot, the bottom sphere on the Tree of Life, this is where it's happening. This is where a lot of spirits, most energy, like a lot of spirits want to be. They want to be here. In the higher realms, yes, it's peaceful and it's bliss, but it's just so peaceful and blissful that maybe it's not all it's cracked up to be. Maybe it's just like being in this psychedelic soup of who knows what. You know, it's hard to say. So when we're here in the material realm, we should really take a moment to be grateful for where we're at. You know, at least we know where we are and how we operate and stuff. When we get to the higher levels, you know, who's to say you aren't just the rookie all over again? And how many levels of existence are there? How many trees of life are there? You know, how high does it really go? You get to the three veils of existence beyond the trees of life. The Ein Sof, the Ein, the Ein Sofer, Ein, Ein Sof, and Ein Sof. I can't remember which one's which, but I would assume that most of you who know about the Kabbalah would know what I'm talking about. So, all right, everybody. I think that pretty much covers it. I did some music earlier today, and I worked also today, so it's actually been a really productive day. I just kind of kept the ball rolling the whole day. Now I'm ready to go home and relax. I hope you all are doing well. As I've said before, if there's a certain subject you guys want me to cover on here, let me know what it is. This will probably be the last video for now on the theme of light and dark. I think I pretty much covered up a lot of the basics without actually dissecting like the different codes, the Sith code, the Jedi code, and the gray Jedi code, middle path code. yeah, just thank you everybody for watching my channel. If you want me to post some of my music sometime, let me know as well. Let me know what topics interest you the most on this channel. And everybody take care, peace and love, stay healthy, stay blessed, and until next time.